Hello and welcome to the Southern Mountain Kitchen. Today we're making homemade sloppy joes. This take on sloppy joes is really tangy and really good, and it's so much better than getting it out of a can. So let's get started. You need 1 pound of ground beef. With that you are going to add chopped up onion. You need at least a half cup of that. Then add some salt and pepper on top. That's your taste level, so use as much as you want to. You really don't need that much salt or pepper. You could probably get away with using a teaspoon of each. Go ahead and mix it through by chopping up the ground beef and moving the onions into it. That will actually distribute your seasoning as well. You're going to want to keep chopping and moving this around as it begins to brown the ground beef, and breaking it up into smaller and smaller pieces, because if you do not, you're just going to have a lot of beef and you just want small pieces of this. To this you're going to add 1/4 cup of red and green bell peppers, and start mixing it up again. And as I said, keep churning it as you're cooking, so that way you can break up the ground beef but incorporate everything else that's vegetable or seasoning into it. And as you keep going, it's going to start looking like this. Now you'll notice there is oil in the pan. By the time you get everything browned and incorporated, you want to get a lot of that oil out. You don't want to leave that in, because it's just going to be a greasy mess if you leave it there. It's easy enough just to take a spoon and spoon it out, or unless you're brave and you want to tip your skillet a little bit and let some of it run out, that's fine. But keep mixing until your ground beef is completely browned. Now to this, once you've gotten the oil out of your pan, you are going to want to add 3/4 cup of chili sauce, on top of that you're going to want to use 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of prepared mustard, and you're going to add in 1/4 cup of water. Once you get this all in, start stirring and mix it through. Now it's going to be very wet at first, and that's just what it is to begin with, because this does cook down. So you're going to want to cook this for quite a while until you cook out the water, and we're talking at least 15 or more minutes depending on the temperature you have it at. I usually turn the temperature up to high. It doesn't take that long to cook it out, but you need to continually stir, and as you keep going you'll see that it changes and it becomes thicker. Mind you, once you actually turn off the stove and let this sit for a couple minutes, it's going to absorb more moisture and it will thicken even more. But just keep stirring it as you are cooking, so that way you get everything incorporated, all mixed together, all the flavors are there. And once you get towards the end, it's going to start looking like this, and this is when you know you are about done, because if you turned off the heat and this thickened, it will actually hold together for you to keep it on a bun. Mind you, some of it will still fall off, because that's what a sloppy joe does, but it'll be thick enough for you to use at this point. And this has such a great taste once you're done with it. It's just an amazing sloppy joe, but it punches the flavor up with the different seasonings that I put into it, just to give it a little bit more of an edge than what you're normally going to get. So what's here in the skillet can serve quite a few different times. You could eat on this 2 to 3 times if you're only eating a few at a time, but I suggest having at least 6 hamburger buns and topping the sloppy joe with cheddar cheese. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you soon.